Loaded it, loaded, loaded it, loaded it, loaded it, loaded it. You already know what that joy and excitement means. It is the fact that 2020 is finally a wrap and 2021 is loading powerfully. Guys, I thought to myself that there is no better way to wrap up the year 2020 than to make a final vlog for the year and of course give a life update of some of the things 2020 taught me, from life matters to finances to family to love, everything basically. Today is my first year on YouTube. Okay, my YouTube channel clocks a year today, and in the midst of this 12 months I was able to hit all my milestones, from 1,000 subscribers to 4,000 watch time to monetization. So it was indeed, there were indeed some blessings in disguise for me. I'm sure you want to know what my favorite times in 2020 was and some of the things I learned. So yeah, in case you want to, please come with me on this journey as we also say Happy New Year together. Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Elisha Moyosaralua, and yes, it's such a pleasure to have you return to my channel to watch my video. From the very interesting caption, you would know that this is basically a live update on my final vlog for the year 2020, and I'll be gisting you a lot about a couple of things. I'm going to make it as short as possible, but in case you're new here, my channel is about lifestyle, movie review, music review, everything in my head, my works, my life, family, faith, everything basically I get to share on the channel with you. And yes, for my old subscribers, thank you for coming back. You made it worth it in 2020 and I cannot thank you guys enough. For the new ones, please like and subscribe to my channel before you go, and let's have an amazing 2021 together. Well, you know for sure that 2020 was a year with a lot of emotions. It was a roller coaster. It was a pandemic year. People call it a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things. But for me, I think that I would call it a year of faith testing, right? A year of faith testing, because I feel like to a very large extent my faith was tested on a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things, from family to health to work to career to finances to business. Everything was basically tested. But in all, I think that there are some basic lessons that I felt like was worthy of sharing, and I'm just going to try to put them into words as much as I can. At the beginning of 2020, nobody really expected how it turned out, with the old Vision 2020. So many people had hopes, so many people had expectations. You've had a lot of things you've written down, maybe from last decade and all that. So it was basically supposed to be a year of manifestation for a lot of people. I usually have a theme for every year, and my theme for 2020 was Manifest 2020. It was based on inspiration from God on the 1st of January when I was having my personal time with Him. And I was expecting to manifest in a lot of things. I was expecting that the theme was going to, just push me out on a lot of things. Those were my hopes and expectations. Like the former year, that's 2019, where my theme for the year was Rejoice. Okay, Rejoice 2019. So 2020 was Manifest 2020 for me. But starting off the year was like, okay, things weren't exactly smooth because I had some burden I moved with from 2019 into 2020. So I wasn't really excited about the year compared to how I would have been some decade ago when I was projecting my 2020, because you guys know that Vision 2020 was a theme. So everyone was expecting 2020 to be lit, like lit. But guys, the shockers started coming from left, right, and center. And I think my very first test for 2020 was health. Okay, family health, because for a family where I come from, it's a family where I don't think any one of us have slept in the hospital. Okay, maybe for 2019 when my sister had a crisis and all of that, but we're not really that type of family where you have to rush someone to the hospital or someone is falling sick. I mean, the highest to always have is a malaria. That's the highest we always have. A malaria, typhoid, and you get to the hospital, take your injection and go home. That's the thing with my family. Until we had a very interesting spin with February 2020 where I got a call and I was told that my mom was rushed to the hospital. She had suffered a stroke. So it was like a decisive moment for us. We didn't know how to take it because it was something totally new and different. And everyone felt like, okay, why would this be happening now? I mean, she wasn't sick, we don't fall sick, the worst that can happen, you know, that kind of thing. So it was a lot of questions from left, right, and center. Because even if you know my mom, she's a very active person, so people were even shocked, like, how, you know, but again, how is the fact that maybe she wasn't really paying attention to some of the things she needed to pay attention to, and it happened. And you know, starting off the year on that note wasn't exactly interesting. And while we're trying to solve that, while we're trying to ensure that she's fine, she doesn't get paralyzed totally and all of that, the lockdown came. And thankfully before the lockdown, she was already due to leave the hospital for home care. So we're basically already taking care of her at home. And the pandemic came into Nigeria. Okay, the pandemic had been since 2019, but we had our own fair share of it from February, March in Nigeria, and then the lockdown came. When we got into the lockdown, I was still working basically because as a journalist, I still had to be out there to bring reports and do reports on some stories. But it got to a particular time where I needed to be fully home for my mom to take care of her, because you know what stroke means. It means that she could not do anything by herself. So I had to be home, and that was where the whole processing started. You know, the lockdown for some people was a test of companionship. For some people it was a test of unity. For some people it was a test of finances, you know. But for us, I mean for me, my family, was a test of everything, because we're dealing with a sick mother, we were dealing with individual issues, we're dealing with how to money for all the drugs. I mean, it's a particular ailment that it's an ailment that takes a lot of money, because you're buying so many things. Therapy is there, everything is there. So it was a lot during the time, and for a lot of reasons I was questioning God a lot, because I felt, why would this be happening? How would this be happening? This was not how I projected my year and all that stuff. And to think that personally I had reservation about how the lockdown was going to be on for so long, and it was going to dampen some of the plans I already have. So I was questioning a lot, I was angry a lot, I was furious a lot. Trust me, I cried a lot too. But thankfully everything started turning around gradually, even within the lockdown. And for the person that I am, I wasn't even sharing some of these things that were happening to me, because I still continued with my work like nothing was happening. I mean, as a matter of fact, people didn't even know that I was going through that kind of thing, because I was still doing my daily updates with my news reports, everything basically. So it felt like, I mean, she's fine, she's doing well, she was encouraging us to stay safe. That was how people saw me. But inside of me, I was fighting a battle that was, you know, strong. But I kept working, I was racing different events. Then it was a lot of online speaking engagement. I was hosting my own speaking platforms. I had a couple of speaking platforms that people had to pay for. So I was doing all of those things, and I made some money even while at home, apart from my job that they were still paying us, thankfully, for Lagos State government. So it was just that kind of thing. And when the lockdown eventually opened, or when the lockdown was eventually lifted, it was like, okay, so how are you going to pick things up from here? I did find it difficult picking things up, because I think even within the lockdown I was still working effectively. So I was able to just quickly divert some of my strength, you know, to adapt to the new system of the old lockdown and everything, doing things online and making money online. And that was one of the things that I'm so grateful to God for. And yes, my YouTube channel too, it was during the lockdown that it really picked up, because I added some content that people were looking for, and thankfully I was able to meet the required standard. By the way, today is my first year on YouTube. Okay, my YouTube channel clocks a year today, and in the midst of this 12 months, I was able to hit all my milestones, from 1,000 subscribers to 4,000 watch time to monetization. So it was indeed, you know, there were indeed some blessings in disguise for me, and those were some of the things I was particularly thankful for. I will not deny that the emotions were high. I will not deny that it was hard coping with the new reality of family, love, career, and all that stuff. It was really, really difficult, but thankfully, you know, somehow I found strength in between the storm, because God just found a way of reassuring me of the things that were to come and the things that He promised me even within the storm. Things got better and better for me by the day. My work increased, improved. I was doing events and getting paid even virtually. I made the most money during the time because the events I was hosting virtually were even, some were not local based, some were internationally based. And it just, you know, when you move from a place of sorrow, sadness, pain, to a place of comfort, healing, and assurance. I think that was how I moved magically, I will call it that way, you know, during the period from July up until December. And it was just God, basically. That's one thing I'm going to say, because, you know, one of the promises that I kept holding on to is the fact that God will never leave His own regardless. The pain might be so much that you're questioning, you're angry, you're frustrated, but God promises would definitely come true, because His ways are not our ways. And that lesson is one thing that I will never forget on my journey. Because yes, it's going to get tough. He did not promise us that it's going to be easy, but the fact that we have Him to hold us through that journey is one of our greatest comforts ever. And that was what I enjoyed. And trust me when I say I didn't lack anything this year. Even as much as everyone is talking about pandemic, you had to stay at home. I did not lack. I had money as when I needed it. I didn't have to borrow. Everything was just in abundance. At some point, I was saving so much that I was going to feel like, hey, this money, what I, you know, just spend it lavishly. I'm just like, it was just really beautiful to see how things turned around, and I'm just entirely grateful. Trust me, when I was thinking about doing a live update for 2020, I really wanted to be vulnerable, go emotional, but again, in all of it, I don't think that I can find that emotion anymore, because the only emotion I see right now is gratitude. That's the only emotion I feel right now. And yes, to some of the lessons that I learned that God will never fail. What God cannot do does not exist. I learned that family is important no matter what, because it was challenging coping. We had head to head. You know, it was a time where everybody was vulnerable. We had confrontations. We were angry. You know, when you experience something that you've never experienced before, you can tell that it was going to break you at some point. But in everything, we're able to find strength with one another, and we pulled through. And thank God for healing too, because I don't know if the healing process were not as fast, I don't know if we would have survived. So eventually, it was just all good at the end of the day. And yes, people are important. I don't have so many people in my life, but the few persons that I have, even though I don't share a lot of things with them, but you know, I just find strength with them one way or the other, even when they don't know what I'm going through. You know, the way they connect with me, they want to know what is going on, because I am a giver, right? I am always at the giving end and not the receiving end most of the time. So I'm probably the one trying to help someone out of something. I'm the one trying to advise someone out of something. I'm always the one trying to give to somebody. But even in all of that, right, as much as I'm always doing the giving, I still have a few people who forcefully ensure that I receive. And that's one of the things that I am so grateful for. The few people in my life, they were amazing in 2020. Number 4 is love. I'm thankful for love, because, I mean, the person in my life, the man in my life, the man I love, gave me so much love, even in all of the storm, because, hey, sometimes it was hard. It was hard communicating my feelings. It was hard communicating the pressure. It was hard communicating what I was thinking, what I felt, my ideas. But in all of that, I was able to understand the real meaning of love, and I felt love like never before. And for that, I am so grateful. The 5th thing that I got to realize was important is purpose. One of the things that made me to not give up in all of the crazy things was the purpose of God for my life. And I'm so thankful that I found purpose at a very early point in time, because it was the pushing factor even when I wanted to give up. I mean, I'm going to share something later in another vlog, maybe you get to understand better, but purpose kept me. Understanding purpose kept me in all of the storm. It made it easy for me to remember what God said even years ago, and be able to push in a turbulent time like 2020, and that really helped me a lot. I mean, I was able to be more steadfast with my career, be more steadfast with my push, my works, as in, it just really helped. So one thing I'm going to tell you is, if you don't understand your purpose, if you're still struggling to get all of these things together, when the test of your faith comes, it might be difficult for you to align, because you're still a lot shaky with what God wants you to do and wants you to be. Because what God wants you to do and wants you to be would definitely be the assurance that you have when you are fighting a raging storm. Okay, and that's one thing I want you to please consider as you get on with life. Another thing in addition is giving. I said earlier that I'm a giver, and giving really helped me a lot in 2020. You know, the seed that you have sown, even way before 2020, were things that really helped me stabilize when I needed help the most from different people. It didn't have to be financial, it didn't have to be money, you know, it was just those little gestures that helped, that were helpful and came in handy when I needed them. And yes, another thing that helped me is putting my work out there. Trust me guys, if you, whatever you do, if you don't put your work out there, you need to start doing that now. Blow your own trumpet. Those were the things that gave me the clients, those were the things that gave me the money during the pandemic. Basically, people trusted me with their stuff because I already proved the point even before the pandemic, and they were comfortable giving me their jobs to do, media stuff, their events to host. I mean, at some point work was literally choking me. That was how interesting it got. So yes, please build a base for yourself. Tell your story, tell people what you do. Don't stop. I mean, don't stop. Even when someone tells you, "Shina, only you, why are you making noise?" Tell them that noise is what put food on your table. So make the noise. And yes, another thing that I learned and worked for me, of course, would be letting go. A lot of people got on my nerves a lot in 2020. I mean, I got betrayed by a lot of people. People got on my nerves. People said things that were crazy. I sensed the jealousy, hatred here and there. But thankfully, I learned how to let go regardless. It was tough, but even when you want to say goodbye, say your goodbye, because at the end of the day, life is short. Don't let anybody put you under unnecessary pressure. You know what I mean? No, don't allow it. Don't. It is very, very important for your sanity. So yeah, I just had to let go. The people that I didn't want to in my life anymore, I removed my hand, you know. And the ones that I still wanted after the apologies, I had to do what? Let go also. But I just knew that there's a limit to what we can do together from that point. So yes, please let go as you move on in 2021. It helped me gain my peace, it helped me gain my sanity, and I'm sure that it will help you also. And yeah, basically those are some of the things that I found really interesting in 2020. Those are some of the pointers and the lessons that I picked up in 2020. And going into 2021, I hope to retain some of these lessons and pick up even new ones that would help me stabilize as I continue with my journey. It wasn't easy, but trust me when I say it was worth every bit of it. The lesson was worth it, and it just made me understand more than ever that God is faithful regardless of how we see life and see things generally. And yes, 2021, I'm looking forward to a lot of things, and yeah, marriage will definitely be one of it, because you already know, soon to be. And I'm just taking life one step at a time, hoping that I have a blissful transition when the time finally comes. But hey, you get all the updates and the gist right here on my channel, and I'm so grateful for you too, for everyone who stayed with me. I mean, I only just started this channel in 2019, 31st of December. Today in 2019 was when I started my channel, and 1 year later, today 31st December 2020, we are 2,000 plus. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting my 3,000 subscribers anytime from now, and it's just been a blissful journey. I hit all of my target, my milestone, from the subscriber target to watch time, and then monetization. Everything just came smoothly, and that's only because of your support, your love. Trust me when I said I just opened my YouTube to just enjoy myself and share thoughts and knowledge and all that. I didn't know it was going to be this beautiful and interesting. And yes, I thank God for the hard work too, because a lot of hard work has gone into giving you videos back to back. But it's been worth it, and I'm just really thankful for everyone that subscribed to my channel. And for you checking this video for the first time, please like and subscribe. It's very important as we continue to build this family together. Thank you so much guys for an amazing 2020, and to all the brands that trusted me with their influencing for influencing for their brand. I'm so grateful. 2021, I hope to do more, and I'm just thankful for my community. Sometimes I even underestimate my community, but hey, it's interesting to know that I have a community that is strong, and I'm just really thankful for that. So guys, these are some of the things I picked up in 2020. There were times that were tough, but I'm grateful that I was tougher and I stood tall at the end of the day. Please continue to stay strong. I don't know what your own story and journey was like, but continue to stay strong. I actually didn't share everything. Like I said, I wanted to throw a lot of emotions, but I just decided to count my blessings and be grateful, you know, in everything that I've seen that has happened. So I hope you also find reasons to be grateful, even as we say a Happy New Year in a few hours. Actually, some countries have entered the New Year already, so I can start saying my Happy New Year from now. Happy New Year! Last vlog in 2020, just to say thank you to God, thank you to you. I'll see you in 2021, God willing. Stay blessed, and yes, Happy New Year.